Okay, Boker Tov Tanya for the 22nd of Sivan. We're continuing in chapter 7. And now, with, I guess, the collection of everything we've learned over the past 6.5 chapters, we can now understand a famous pasuk from Sefer Malachi. Let's go right inside him. V'hinei b'mashin isbar yuvan masha kasav ani Hashem lo shanisi. Now we can understand the pasuk, Ani Hashem lo shanisi, I am Hashem, I have not changed. Right? So the classic questions are, what do you haven't changed? Before the world was created, you were alone. Now you have a creation. Now you have others. There's a world. What do you mean? That's a change. Right? So, let's go. Perush, she'ein shum shunui klal, kamo shehaya levado kodem brias ha'olam, kachu levado achar shenivra. What the pasuk's telling us is that there's no change to HaKadosh Baruch Hu from before the world was created, and he remains alone before the world was created, and he remains alone after the world was created. V'zeu she'omrim atahu ad shelo nivra olam atahu hulu. Right? We have some other pasukim that point to this. You were the same before the world was created. You're the same after the world was created. Bli shum shinui ba'atzmus v'lo b'dato. Right? Without any change to your essence and to your das, to your awareness. So now we understand this a little bit, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is unchanged, right? He's unchanged because, as we've been explaining, right, there is only one true existence, right? We are a projection of His divine energy, and we're totally absorbed within Him. Yes, He creates systems in such a way that we don't perceive his force of creative energy that's coming into us, that's perpetually keeping us going. But that's only from our perspective, right? He created a system in which there's a projection of His divine light, right, which is Him. It's all just Him. It's all just Him. The only distinction is that we perceive ourselves as a reality, but we're not. There's no true existence other than HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu remains totally unchanged. It's unfathomable for us, right? But we just need to try to absorb the words, right? That we are not a true existence. There's only one true existence, right? And therefore, we're totally absorbed in this divine unity, right? And therefore, that unity has not changed. Hashem it's all exactly the same as it was before, after, right? There's no change to Him. There's no other than Him. So now, regard to His. He's going to go like a step. Okay, so I understand that there's no true existence other than Him. But what about like His awareness, right? What about His awareness, right? How does He? The way we have knowledge, right? We're going to see in a second. We have knowledge. The Rambam explains there's really 3 components to our knowledge, right? There's the knower, there's us, there's our soul, right? There's our system, our capacity, right? To have knowledge, to be aware, right? A system of awareness, right? And then there's the knowledge itself. And we go through life constantly, right? Scooping up new information, right? Which is not essential to who I am, but I scoop things up over every contact I have with a person, everything I learn, every moment since I was a little child, I'm gaining more and more and more knowledge, right? And that becomes added to me, right? It's like a composite, right? It becomes part of me. Right? That's not with Hashem, which the Rambam explains. With the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and again, he says this is unfathomable. It's all self-knowledge. It's all one thing. Right? Everything in the creation is just knowledge of self. Right? So therefore, there's nothing new for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's nothing outside of Him. He remains completely unchanged. Okay. Ki b'dias atzmi yodea kol nivraim shakol mimenu batu b'tzias etzlo. Right? For by knowing Himself, He knows all created things, since all derive from Him and all are nullified in relation to Him. Ukamosha kasav Rambam. The rest of this is almost just going to be a saying over the concepts of the Rambam. Ukamosha kasav Rambam zikon levracha shehu yodea v'hu yadua v'hu adeya ba'atzma hakol echad. As I said before, there's 3 parts of knowledge. Right? There's the knower, there's the known, and there's the knowledge itself. The Rambam explains that with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's all one thing. V'davar zeh ein koch b'fed la'amro. we don't even have the capacity to really express what this means, right? V'lo ba'ozen l'shmoa, we can't grasp it at all, we can't hear it, right? V'lo b'leva adam lakiru al buryo, right? We can't comprehend it at all. It's not part of our intellectual capacity to understand what that means. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's all one thing. His knowledge is one thing. Ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu mahusa v'atzmusa v'dato hakol echad mamish mikol tzad pina b'chol derech yichud. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his essence being, his knowledge is all absolutely one thing. From every side, every angle, there's nothing new. There's no collection of knowledge. There's no new awareness for him, right? This is all, it's all him. It's all one simple, absolute unity, right? And there's a projection of divine energy that allows us to perceive that we're in existence. But it's all one. It's all one simple thing. Ve'ein dato davar nosaf al mahusa v'atzmuso. His awareness, his knowledge is not added to his essence being. Kamoshahu b'nefesh adam, the way it is within a person. Shadata davar nosaf al mahusa murkav ba. With regard, it's not like a human experience, right? Where knowledge is something that we keep on adding, right, more and more to who we are, and it becomes a composite of more and more experience and more knowledge, and we grow in this way. That's not Hashem. Shahari shahadam lomed v'yodea eza davar. When a person learns something, kfar haisabo nafsho amaskelis b'terem shalom v'yada v'achar shalom v'yada nitos v'yadiya zo b'nafsho. When a person learns something, right, he already was a soul. He already is something, and then he just added to it. And so day after day, this is a pasuk from Eov. Days speak, instruct a person, and a multitude of years teach wisdom. In other words, every single, as I said before, every moment of our life is an experience with which we gain knowledge and add to who we are, and gain wisdom and teach wisdom. This is not a simple unity, right? This is a composite, right? That's where just like the creation is in such a way. Like, if you break down anything, seemingly everything's a composite. We can't even really fathom what it means if something's a single unity. Because if I put a microscope on this table, I'll see that it's a composite of many things, right? Everything in this world is sort of forcing us to see separation, and that it's a composite of things. Whereas the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the absolute simple unity. He's one simple thing, right? We can't get that, right? But it's one simple thing, whereas even our knowledge is really just a continual composite of more and more things that we're adding. About HaKadosh Baruch Hu achdus pashut is a simple unity. Bli shum harkava. There's no pieces to him that have come together, right? V'tzad rubi called. There's no multiplicity in him whatsoever. V'im kain, al karchacha mahusa v'atzmusa v'dato hakol davar echad, mamish bli shum harkava. Therefore, we have to conclude that his essence being and his knowledge are just one simple thing, absolutely, mamish, without any, there's nothing put together. Ulafikach kashem she'iev shal l'shum nivra b'olam lahasig musa v'argatz muso, kach iev shal lahasig mahuz dato. Just like we can't understand the essence of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, we also can't understand what his knowledge is. Rak lahamim b'emuna, only to believe with complete faith. Shehula ma'ila mehaseichel masaga, he's beyond our level of knowledge and comprehension. Shekadosh Baruch Hu yachid miyuchad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is one, he's unique, he's simple. V'hu v'dato hakol echad mamish, him and his knowledge are one thing in an absolute terms. Uvidias atzmo makar v'yodea ha'nimtzayim elyonim v'taktonim, and it's with this knowledge of self, right, that he recognizes and knows all of the beings, all of the creations, high and low, the highest angels you could imagine in the highest realms, down to every little grain of sand, right? He knows all of it, right? But it's all knowledge of self. There's nothing new. There's nothing he needs to peek in to be aware of, right? There's nothing he gains out of seeing it. It's all him. It's just knowledge of self, and it's a projection of his divine energy. Ad shilshol katan shabayam, I gave examples, but the smallest little sea creature Va'ad yatush katan shia b'tabur haaretz, or some kind of mosquito that's found in the center of the earth. Ein davar ne'elam mimenu, nothing's concealed from him. Ve'ein yediyah zo mosifa bo ribui harkava klal, and knowledge of these things, of this multiplicity, doesn't add anything to him. Me'achar she'ena rak yediyas atzma, there's nothing but his knowledge, which is his self-knowledge. V'atzmuso v'dato hakol echad, he and his essence and his knowledge are one. And though this is difficult, this is all words of the Rambam basically. Right, although this is difficult, the Rambam he brings it because the Rambam already tackled this concept of how his knowledge is just unified and there's no new awareness. Right? How could he be the same? Again, we're trying to understand how could he be the same before creation as he is after creation? It's because there's nothing new. Right? It's all just knowledge of self. Right, and it's very. The Rambam says, "Kashimo litzarbis." It's very hard for us to draw in our minds. Al ken amar Navi. Therefore, the Navi said, "Ki gavu shamayim me'aretz." Kain gavu darchem edarchechem u'machshavosai machshavosechem. The Navi explains, right? It's from Isaiah, right? The heavens are higher than the earth, and my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. In other words, our logic is not Hashem's logic, right? We have a created system of logic and knowledge. Our ways are not his ways. Our das is not his das. Our knowledge is not his knowledge. Don't try to think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu thinks like you. Uksiv hacheker elokai timsa v'gomer uksiv ha'inei basar lach im kiros enosh tira. And likewise it says, can you by intellectual searching find God? In other words, can you find God by searching in your mind? Of course, you can't truly grasp God. And so to have you eyes of flesh? Do you see as man sees? Right? Does Hashem have eyes like we have? Does he see like we see? Of course not. We understand and gain knowledge by those that are things that are external to us. That's the whole point of life. You go around and you gain things that are outside of you, and you inculcate them. Is that a word? You bring them into yourself, right? That's not Hashem. Hashem is just a self-knowledge. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'yedias atzmo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not about gaining things from outside of him. It's all about him himself. Ad kan lashona. This is the end of the phrase. The quote, more or less, of the paraphrase of the Rambam. It says, ends here with just a little parenthesis. Ayin sham hilchos Torah v'skimu imo chokman kabbalah k'mor parties meramak zechon avracha. Often the Baal Tanya always brings, when he talks about this concept of the Rambam, right, that these things were agreed upon by the Kabbalists as well. Some people want to, when they look at the Rambam sort of seems to define Hashem as the ultimate knowledge, right? And the Kabbalists see that knowledge is already sort of like a level below his essence. Knowledge is already some kind of creative state. It's a defining state. So some want to think that the Kabbalists have a problem with this idea, right? But the Baal Tanya always brings that there's understanding within the Kabbalists how to deal with how the Rambam deals with this. We could rely very much on the Rambam in this matter. Okay, we're not going to get into the distinction. We'll do it. There's other points in Tanya where we can discuss it. Tov, shkach, hayom yom. Hayom yom. Hayom yom for the 22nd of Sivan. When saying the phrase v'haviyenu l'shalom, one first gathers together the two front tzitzis, right? When we're in the Berachos Kriya Shema, right? Already when we say V'avienu l'Shalom, we gather the two front tzitzis. To these are added one from the back left corner and one from the back right corner. All four are then held between the ring finger and the little finger. You hold it like this, right? The tzitzis are kissed 6 times. Right? When reciting the words tzitzis, tzitzis, l'tzitzis, and ms, the 4 times, most people do that, right? And some people, I think, do the other 2, right, during the actual Kriya Shema. And then in the next paragraph, also in kayemes and la'ad. So 6 kisses, we already collected already in the bracha preceding
So we hold
Shema.
the tzitzis between these 2 fingers?
I was
I do like this. Hold on. I think I do it right.
Never
You hold you grab the first 2 of your talis, then you grab the left, then you grab the right.
Does it matter if you have a lefty or righty what hand it's going in?
It's probably.
Tefillins and, like,
It's the hand that's not.
I guess
not
that's.
tefillin hand.
It's just
No, it is the tefillin hand.
It is the tefillin hand.
It is.
I don't know if it matters though,
It's just there
because why not?
temporarily,
You know, it's
but
a,
also
yeah.
you're-
I go like this. I'm pretty sure this is the way the
It's just
recommendation is.
temporarily there.
I go into the pinky finger here
Yeah.
and over here.
Ah.
I think that's right. And then,
I always just do the pinky. I always have it with
so here the recommendation is it's the pinky to the ring.
That's why we have a yum yum.
It's right, left, right.
You grab the front two together,
Yeah,
and then it's the
together.
left,
Left first.
and then
before
the right.